Your metabolism isn't broken, it's just tired of starvation diets. If you're new here, I'm Zach Rana. I'm a biochemist and metabolism expert, and I've helped hundreds of frequently traveling professionals get lean and reclaim their health. In this video, I'm breaking down the 3-step framework that Marianne used to reset her metabolism, even while working as a flight attendant and traveling every single week. 1, we'll dive into what Marianne tried in the past and why starving herself stopped working. 2, we'll go into how the metabolism actually works and the science behind it. 3, how to fix the metabolism and the exact changes we made with Marianne to see the transformation you see on the screen. All right, so what Marianne had tried in the past was things like Optivia and keto. Specifically, if you're not familiar, Optivia is one of these meal, crash diet things where you pay for this service and they send you a bunch of different meals that are super low in calories. Marianne was actually on 1,200 calories per day. And keep in mind, she's 5'7". So for her body weight, what her maintenance calories should be is closer to 16 to 1,800 range, right? So she was at 1,200 calories. She did this, mind you, for 2 years. So 2 years at 1,200 calories. Yes, she did lose weight. I think she, at her highest, was at 170. She dropped down to, I think, about 140. So she lost 30 pounds very quickly, I think within the first 6 months, maybe 9 months. And then she was just plateaued and she started to get miserable. And she was like, I'm eating 1,200 calories. My body isn't changing. I'm in this cycle of beating myself up if I fall off track at all, because it's, extremely unsustainable. And so when she came to me, she was this picture on the left. Now, there are a couple of things I want to point out in this picture. Number 1 is notice where she's carrying fat, right? The sides of her abdomen and the stomach. She's got a little bit. Now, granted, she wasn't extremely overweight, but she was carrying a little bit of extra fat and she didn't like the way that it looked or felt. The other thing I want to bring your attention to is her face and how she's feeling physically. Granted, part of this is because she's a flight attendant, she's traveling a lot and works some red eyes. So that combined with being at extremely low calories and basically just tanking her metabolism was leading to her feeling this way. So this is what she had tried in the past, right? Optivia for 2 years, she'd done things like keto. Every single time she wanted to lose weight, her answer was, I need to starve myself. Now, let's go over the science of metabolism and walk through why this is a terrible idea, and then we'll go into what you should do instead. So with the metabolism, first off, I want to start off with signs of a slow metabolism. Then we'll actually go into the different metabolic functions in general. So a slow metabolism, you'll see a weight plateau, fatigue, low energy, right? Can't focus, bloating, low sex drive, depression, insulin resistance, bad skin and hair. These are the common signs of a slow metabolism. And if we go look at Marianne on the left, she was feeling every single one of those things. Not a good feeling to have a slow metabolism, I'll tell you that. It doesn't feel good. I've been there too. Not a fun feeling. So let's talk about how the metabolism actually works. There are 3 main quadrants to the metabolism. First one is active energy expenditure, which is all the energy we burn from moving, right? So a lot of times when people think I need to lose weight, I need to move more, move my body, and then I need to eat less, right? That's what Marianne thought. I'm gonna put myself in a huge calorie deficit, I'm gonna do a ton of cardio. It works to a point, but what ends up happening is something called metabolic adaptation, okay? And maybe I'll do a full in-depth video on exactly what this is, but essentially the short version of it is metabolic adaptation is when your metabolism slows to meet the new current circumstances you're giving it. It's a survival mechanism, right? If Marianne's eating 1,200 calories for 2 years straight, she's telling her body, we are starving, there is food scarcity, we don't have enough food access, and so we need to slow down the metabolism to survive, right? In this day and age, though, most people don't have food scarcity except when they put it upon themselves, right? So that's one method of losing weight. Now let's talk about how to actually prime the metabolism and increase it. And then I'll show you exactly tactically what we did with Marianne to make this happen. So this is quadrant 1, right? Moving more. Quadrant 2 is the thermic effect of food. And this is how much energy our bodies burn just from eating food and consuming it, breaking it down, digesting it, rearranging it into the molecules we need to use it for. 15% of our total energy being burned per day comes from this. So if you decrease the amount of food you're eating, you're also decreasing the thermic effect of food, right? And another thing to think about is with the thermic effect of food, different foods have different thermic effects. Foods that are higher in protein have the highest thermic effect, meaning it takes our bodies the most energy to burn them down. So as I'll go into in a minute, part of what we did with Marianne was a higher protein diet. All right, now let's talk about the most important quadrant here, which makes up 60% of our total metabolism. That is our basal metabolic rate, right? Or our resting metabolic rate. Sorry, I kind of crossed it out. So our resting rate is the amount of energy our body is burning just doing regular things, breathing, blood flow, brain function, sleep, organ function. All of these things are contributing to our basal metabolic rate. Now the cool thing is we can actually raise our metabolic rate, because what happened with Marianne was she had brought her resting rate down with these years of crash dieting, doing these fad diets and cutting calories really hard. And over time, we can actually bring this up. And so the ways that you can boost metabolism is, one, with strength training, because when you put on more muscle mass on your body, you're going to naturally burn more calories. 1 pound of muscle takes 8 calories to maintain. A pound of fat only takes 2 calories to maintain. So a pound of muscle burns 4 times the amount of calories than a pound of fat does, right? So strength training is huge. Protein intake's also huge for 2 reasons, right? 1 is it has a very high thermic effect. And 2 is over time, the protein coupled with the strength training will help to put more muscle mass on your body. Water intake, sleep are also huge things to dial in. And then alcohol, we want to lower. It doesn't mean you need to cut it out, but we want to bring it down because it does slow our metabolism. And then sugars and fats, again, we're not cutting them out, but we just want to bring them a little bit down. All right, so now let's go back to Marianne and let's talk about exactly what we did. So there's two screenshots I have from conversations we had together. One was, she said, just watch the video on how the metabolism works and I'm obsessed. Thank you for breaking that down. I love learning about stuff like this. So we went deep together on the metabolism, how exactly it works, why we're doing the changes we're doing, because when we first started working together, Marianne was very hesitant about what I was asking her to do, because I was telling her to eat more, do no cardio, and strength train. And she was like, I don't know, this goes against everything that I have ever done before. And what I told her was, you know, if you want different results, you need to do things differently. If you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting what you've always got. And so we have to try something different. And this is all grounded in science, as I'm explaining to you guys as well. Here's the second thing I wanted to point out. She said, just made it to Hawaii after a very long day, did pretty well. I cannot believe how eating so much more protein is helping me stay full longer, right? So this I want to underline, eating so much protein, helping me stay full longer. This is key right here, right? When you want to change your body, most people want to lose body fat. That's like a common desire, right? When you want to lose body fat, the most important thing you can possibly do is focus on your macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, and your carbs, right? Everything out there will tell you, oh, you just need to cut calories, or oh, you just need to do more cardio, you just need to work harder. Doing those things is literally just like spinning on a hamster wheel. It's completely useless if you don't actually know your macronutrients, right? Those are your proteins, fats, and carbs. And so what we did with Marianne, put her on her customized macronutrient split of proteins, fats, and carbs, give her the numbers to hit every single day and which foods are gonna help her hit those when she's at home and when she's on the road. Once she started implementing that, this is the transition, right? And these two pictures here are 5 months apart, right? So you can get a picture in your mind of like, how long does this take? It doesn't take years, it takes months, right? For some people, it's faster than others. In Marianne's case, we had a lot of damage to undo on her metabolism, but as you can see right here, like pretty much like she's carrying almost no fat on her abdomen. All the pieces that used to be there melted away. She's seeing a lot more toning and definition in her arms, same with her legs. And so most importantly though, way more energy, feeling better, right? Feeling a lot better, because when you fix your metabolism and you start actually working with it rather than fighting it, you feel the opposite of all the slow metabolism signs, right? The opposites of that is no more weight plateau, right? She started losing weight, more energy, right? Better sex drive, like no depression, lots of joy, lots of energy. Skin, actually, I don't know if you guys can tell from these pictures, but like her skin has improved, right? Her hair, like you can see the hair versus the first picture versus the second has improved. So a lot of things are dependent on the metabolism, and if you want to look and feel vibrant, this is the best way to do it. We've covered a lot of information here. Drop any questions that you have below. Like I said earlier, I will do an in-depth training on metabolic adaptation as well, so you guys can kind of understand exactly what that is, how it happens, and how we can undo the effects of it. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to hear more about Marianne's story and hear from her directly and kind of get into like her mind, her thought patterns, her habits, her behaviors, the way that she changed what she was doing, you can click on the link down below, which is an in-depth interview that I did with Marianne going over exactly that. Hope you guys liked this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.